Today, I'm sharing all new Dollar Tree DIYs you're definitely gonna wanna recreate for your home. Mirrors typically provide a really high-end look, but you don't always have to keep them as mirrors. You can turn them into wall art, and that's what I'm gonna do with this DIY. So you're gonna need 3 circle mirrors from Dollar Tree. You're gonna disassemble the mirrors. Next, I'm going to add in some washi tape. You can get this anywhere. The one I bought is off of Amazon. I'll link it for you down below. And I'm gonna cut my washi tape off and I'm gonna put it in some different geometric patterns. I really didn't have any rhyme or reason to this. I just wanted each of the 3 mirrors to look a little bit different. Next, spray paint your mirrors with a frosted spray paint. This works so well and you only need 1 coat. I'm gonna do 1 coat on top of all of my mirrors. Now with my frames, I'm going to spray those. Pick your favorite color. I'm gonna go with blue. And you wanna do 2 coats of spray paint on your frames. Once everything has a chance to dry, remove your washi tape and you're gonna see the really cool pattern underneath. Then I'm going to reassemble my frames by adding the mirror with hot glue to the backing piece. Then I'll place it into my frame and then I'll add a little bit of hot glue on the back to secure it. You can hang these on your wall with command strips. In my next DIY, I'm gonna be adding a wood frame to my new Cozilla digital photo frame. And I wanna thank Cozilla for sponsoring today's video. If you're not familiar with Cozilla photo frames, they are the smartest digital photo frame on the market and a great way to stay connected with your family. You guys are not gonna believe everything this photo frame can do. You can download the My Cozilla app. There's so many features on the app that you're definitely gonna wanna use. You're gonna follow the prompts along the app to set up your frame so that you can easily start with photo sharing. You can determine if this is for a gift or for yourself. Once you get to the area where you upload your photos, you can easily do those from your phone or Instagram. Now the Cozilla frame comes like this. Me personally, I love the look of a wood frame, so I'm gonna show you an easy DIY you can do to add a wood frame to this. I will link to the Cozilla frame down in the description box as well as the wood surrounding frame that I'm gonna put on. The cool thing about this wood frame is it actually has all the holes needed and the buttons, so it's gonna fit right around your frame. I'm just gonna put my long pieces along the bottom edge. The power button side is over here, so I'm going to add the piece with the power button. And then you're going to get these provided stakes, and I'm just going to place them in my frame. I also got exclusive news that Cozilla is gonna be releasing a black frame and a larger screen, so I can't wait to see that. You're not gonna believe this, but the Cozilla frame actually has a built-in Alexa and can do thousands of built-in Alexa commands. Alexa, play music.
Here's a mix for you on Amazon Music.
You can buy the frame and actually preset the device for a remote user. And the person you're giving the gift to can simply plug and play the device. This is a great way to gift the frame to anyone who's not tech savvy. I'm thinking this would make a perfect Mother's Day gift, which is right around the corner. When you're uploading pictures to a My Cozilla album, you can actually send the pictures along with a voice recording. These are some pics from our trip to New York in December. Here's the 4 of us in Central Park. These are some pics from our trip to New York in December. You can send important reminders like take your medication at 1 p.m. You can add text memos. You can also add in voice memos. Don't forget to take your medication today. I love you. Don't forget to take your medication today. I love you. And then the user can decide to hit later, skip, or finished if they got the message. The Cozilla frame is made with recycled plastic materials, and the album consists of 12 recycled bottles, so you know I love that. Cozilla offers unlimited cloud storage on photo and video sharing, so upload as many photos and videos as you like. They offer great customer service. You can speak with a live chat on their website. I'll put the link to the Cozilla frame and the wood frame that I added down in the description box. concrete and cement is such a high-end look, and it's one of those things you could really recreate and have that look for less. So for this next DIY, you want to get some Quikrete. You can buy this at Lowe's or Home Depot. You're also going to need some silicone muffin tins. Really, you can buy these everywhere. I'll link to the ones I got down below. Start by putting your Quikrete into a disposable bowl, and then you're going to add in water. Now, I don't ever measure this, but you want your Quikrete to be at kind of a pudding consistency, so where it pours in nicely. So just add water until you're at that consistency. Next, you're going to fill up your silicone containers till they're about maybe 3/4 of the way full. Then you're going to add in tea lights into your silicone trays. Fill up 2 more of the silicone trays with Quikrete, leaving those without a tea light in them. Now I'm also going to be using a smaller silicone tray, and I'm gonna fill that up the same way with my Quikrete. If you need more, just mix it up. And then I'm gonna put those in the smaller containers about 3/4 of the way up, and then put in my tea lights in half of them. You want to leave 3 of them that do not have the tea lights inside. Let everything sit and dry for about 3 hours. Then you can pop them out of the molds. And then what I did was let them continue to dry overnight. The next day I came back in, and now I'm going to glue them together. So the glue I'm going to be using is E6000, and I'm going to flip one of the ones without a tea light over. I'm going to add E6000 to the back. I'll put one of the cement molds with the tea light on top of the E6000. Now I did have a little bit of trouble with these kind of sliding off, so you may have to put some support pieces on the edge while these dry. Let them dry for a few more hours, and then you have decorative candles that you can set out in your decor using the cement, and they look really high end. Make sure you paint that subscribe button. If you're watching me on your phone, the subscribe button is right next to my channel name. Click the red subscribe button so it goes from red to gray. You can also click the notification bell so you can see more videos like my Dollar Tree DIYs, home hacks, and room makeovers. So one of my favorite things to do is find just odd things at Dollar Tree that I would probably never buy and turn them into fun decor pieces. So that's what I'm gonna do with this hello sign. So when I saw this sign, I thought this would make a really cool sculptural piece. So I'm gonna start by using my wire cutters to bend out the wires on this hello sign to make them as straight as possible. Once I got them as straight as I could, now I'm gonna try to bend them up so they almost make kind of like a horseshoe shape. And then when I get to the top, I'm gonna cut them off so they're as even as possible. Now you may already have one of these beaded wreaths on hand. I know they were really popular a month or 2 ago. They come in a couple different finishes. The one I'm gonna be using is the one that's in like the medium tone finish. And I'm gonna start by using my wire cutters to cut through the wreath because I wanted to use the beads that were already on there. Then I'm just going to simply take the beads off and loop them onto my horseshoe ring figurine. Once I got it completely covered, when I got to the last one at the top on either side, I added in hot glue to secure the beads in place. And here's a look at how this piece turned out in my decor. Dollar Tree has done such a good job recently of giving us so many more wood crafting items. So I wanted to do a DIY with some of those wood crafts. So I picked up 2 of the wood blocks. A lot of times when you get them, they're very rough. So I started by sanding them just to get all the rough edges off. Next, I'm going to use some wood beads. These wood beads are from Amazon, but they do have them at Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to hot glue the wood beads along the base of one of my plaques. And then I'll add hot glue to the top of the wood beads and place the other plaque on the top. Now originally I thought I wanted to put some legs on here, so I had these large wood beads from Amazon. I hot glued those on and I realized these are way too big, so I ended up pulling them off and putting on some smaller beads. The ones that I used on the inside, I used those for the legs. I also originally thought I was going to paint this, but when I looked at it, I thought, you know what, this would look great stained. So to stain this, I'm gonna be using the color Golden Oak, and I like to use a foam brush whenever I stain. I'm gonna place the stain with my foam brush onto the tray, and then any excess I'll immediately pull off with a paper towel. Let that dry completely, and I think these are great to use in your bathroom or your kitchen to put your soap container on. A really big trend that I've been noticing is this rainbow wall art with spackling. I actually made one a few months back and it was really pretty. I did it with Dollar Tree supplies, but I've been seeing a lot of trays and I wanted to try to recreate one myself. So from Dollar Tree, I got a foam board. I'm also going to be using some spackling. Now I got it in a large tub from Lowe's, but you can get the smaller jars as well. I just knew that this project might take a little bit more and I'd have to buy several of those smaller tubes. I used a putty knife to put the spackling onto my board. One of the tools you're going to need for this project is a trowel. So you want to make sure you place your trowel on the edge, because when you spread out your spackling, you need to make sure that it covers the area where your trowel is going to go, or this project isn't going to work very well. So once you figure out how far you need to move your spackling out, take your putty knife and spread it as evenly as possible across your foam board. Don't worry about getting to the edges because you're not going to have your tray go out that far. Once you have your putty completely spread out, then you're going to go through with your trowel, creating just a slight wave across the board. When I did this one time, it wasn't as clean as I'd like it to be. So I actually puttied back over the area and did another pass. So if you don't like the way it turned out, just do it again until you're happy with it. Now, once you're happy with it, you want to go along the edges with your putty knife, just kind of cleaning up that edge, because later, once this dries, you're going to come in and actually cut that area off. So it's easier just to do it ahead of time with your putty knife, and then that way you're not wasting any of your spackling. Once you're at this point, it's time to let it dry. So let it dry at least overnight. Then you want to come in with a nice sharp X-Acto knife and you're going to cut along the edges. Now, hopefully you've created a nice edge when you remove that spackling, but you just want to make it a nice clean edge. On both of your edges, you want them to be nice and straight. So figure out where you want to cut it off and then just cut a piece off. After I did all the cutting, I wanted to paint it. So I'm gonna be painting it with the color Reden Point, and I'm just gonna mix that with a little bit of baking soda to give it a gritty texture. I'll put on one coat with my paintbrush. Once this dries, it's perfect as a tray. You can put it on your coffee table or in your dining room. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is DIY. Color blocking is a popular trend that I've been noticing in a lot of home decor, and you can see this trend really well on Anthropologie's website. So I wanted to try to recreate this trend with Dollar Tree items. So at Dollar Tree, I found a collection of vases and bowls that I could use to intermix together. So I was removing all the labels from my bowls and vases, and I tried to figure out which vases and bowls would look the best together. So I figured out how I wanted to position them. Then I picked 3 spray paint colors. I had a copper, a brown, and a tan. And I figured out, okay, if I have these 2 pieces together, I want to make sure I have 2 different colors on them. I determined what colors I was going to spray paint each of the items. And then to spray paint, what I like to do is take them outside and I'll do 1 coat on the back side. Let that dry completely. Then I'll flip it over and do another coat on the side that I'm going to see. A total of 2 coats. And I did that with the cream color, the brown, and the copper. From there, they're really easy to put together after that. You're just going to use some E6000 and put the 2 containers together. I'm gonna do that with all 3 of my vases. And I'll show you how they look styled in my living room. I was so excited to find these next containers at Dollar Tree. I think they're brand new and they would be perfect in your bathroom. You could use them as the clear acrylic containers in your bathroom, but I'm gonna do a slight paint technique on these containers. For my project, I'm gonna use 3 sample paints in a white, a gray, and a black. Now I wanted all 3 of my colors to be on my container, and when you're doing this, it's usually best to start with your lightest color and work your way up to your darker colors. So I started by putting 2 coats of the white colored paint onto my vases. I wanted this to look kind of like a gradual swooping technique. You'll see as we go along. So once the white was dried, I came back in with the gray color and added that. I'm also adding these colors to the lids sporadically, but I really didn't know exactly how I wanted the lid to look until I got all the colors on. Now this will take a little bit of time because you have to allow dry time, plus you're doing a second coat. And then my final color I'm gonna add is the black, and I'll add the black to both of my containers as well as the lid. This wasn't hard to do at all. I just used an easy swirl shape, and you could put these in your bathroom as well. I'm always on the lookout for interesting art, and when I saw this next item at the thrift store, I think I came across someone's already existing DIY. They essentially put a foam ball and then hot glued corks all around the edge, and I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't necessarily like the color of it, and it was kind of falling apart, so I had to hot glue it back together. I thought, what if I spray paint this with a couple of coats of a matte black spray paint? Once I did that, I thought it looked really great. You'll have to let me know what you think of this in my decor. I have been loving the terracotta color. Honestly, I can't get enough of it. For our next DIY, I'm gonna use a plastic planter base and a succulent bowl. On the planter base, I'm just going to cut along the edge. It has a little lip that goes over the edge. I don't want that part, so I'm gonna cut that off. I'm gonna spray paint both pieces with a terracotta color, doing 2 coats. Once everything has a chance to dry, I want to paint the inside of my bowl with a black color. So I'm gonna mix some black paint with baking soda. The baking soda is just going to give it more of a gritty appearance, and you can usually get it done in just 1 coat. So I'm gonna paint the inside of the bowl, let that completely dry. After I'm done with the black paint, I put E6000 on the plant base, and then I'm gonna put the bowl on top. I'll add in some succulents from Dollar Tree, and here's how it turned out. You may want to consider getting this tote this year. I found it in the Dollar Tree Plus section for just $3. It comes in a bunch of different colors, but look how large this is. It's perfect for the summertime. I would probably put my pool toys in here. For this next DIY, you're gonna need some glass vases. Now, I like to either get my glassware at Dollar Tree or the thrift store. I'm gonna clean up both of my vases, and then I'm gonna start by painting them with a cream color. This is a sample cream paint that I already had. I'll add 2 coats of the cream paint on both of my vases. Now, once the cream paint had a chance to dry, I wanted to try out a sponge technique, and Dollar Tree has a bunch of different sponges. Honestly, I tried out a few different ones, and the best one was with the traditional sponge that they sell in the bathroom section. I'm gonna cut off small pieces of this sponge, and I'm gonna dip it into some different paint colors. The colors I'm gonna be using are gold, terracotta, black, and that original cream color. And I'm just going to dip one of my sponges into the paint, and then I'll dab it because you don't want a lot of paint on your vase. So dab it off first and then just start dabbing it all over your vase. This gives such a cool texture and finish. I feel like the more colors you mix together, the richer the look is. So I'm just going to continue to add in color until I'm happy with it. If I feel like I added a little bit too much, that's when I'm going to use that cream color to add that on top, and that's just going to mute down any imperfections that I put on my vases. You also want to make sure you do the inside of your vase because you will see that when it's sitting out. So here's how those vases turned out. Let me know down in the comments which of these DIYs was your favorite. I love knowing your opinion, so just comment your favorite DIY number. Don't be afraid to try that project you've always wanted to try, and remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. I hope you subscribe because I want to see you back here. Bye.